I have been missing this so much. So, I just dropped my kids back off at school. It's the first day of school, and this is the first day that I have not. This is the first year that I have not cried when dropping them off. Because Mama's excited to have her schedule back. Yeah, so I wanted to hop on here because it's been a while since I've been able to do a live stream because our schedule has just been crazy and it's really hard for me to do much whenever the kids are in the house. So I just wanted to say hi to the fam, to the community, see how everybody's doing. Let me see, I'm on my phone. I can never remember how to see the comments because I want to say hello. Top messages, all messages. I don't know. You'd think that I would have figured this out by now. Oh, there they are. Okay. Hi, Kimberly Cox. It's so good to be here. Yeah, so I want to check in and see how everybody's doing because I don't remember the last time I did a live stream. And I've really been missing the community. I miss the positive energy and vibes. Hi, Jill. Hi, Michael. Hi, how do I say it? Cedrina. Hi, Casey. Hi, is it Michnella? Eugenio? I'm doing really well this morning because I just dropped my kids off for back to school. And I was saying this is the first year I haven't cried because I'm actually pretty excited about it. And my kids were really excited this morning to go to school. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to having my schedule back. I'm looking forward to be able to interact with the community more. Seriously, I feel like this summer I was trying to keep all of the plates spinning. Have I checked out your podcast, the Deep Dive podcast? I have not yet, Michael. I can't remember if you emailed me about it or not. I have been treading water this summer. Just trying to make it here to this moment. It's so hard. You know, we've talked about, hey, Blake. Hey, Sarah. KK. Did I check my schedule about what? Oh, message retracted. I don't know what I was supposed to check my schedule about. So I've talked about before on the channel safe versus flexible mode. And I'm realizing that in the summer I have to, hey, Mikey boy. Oh, I'm so glad I hopped on. It's so good to see all of y'all's names. It's been too long. In the summer, I have to just like live in flexible mode. And if you haven't checked out that video I made, these are terms that, oh gosh, she'll help me out with her name. My brain's still coming online this morning. It's not Devin Price. What's the book that it's from? It's going to come to me. What I mean when I say I'm autistic. Yep, the author will come to me. Not there yet. And she talks about safe and flexible modes. And so flexible mode is basically, hey, living in the gray area. Yeah, it is early in California. Driving 2 hours to get home. Well, thanks for the love. I see all the hearts. Thank you. Hello, empathetic pleasure. Interesting. Okay, so flexible mode basically means like you just feel like you always have to be, sorry, my swing is squeaky. And Orion always gets mad whenever I make a video in the swing because it's like he feels really dizzy. So I'll try not to move too much. Okay, so flexible mode is basically you feel like you always have to be on guard, like you can never fully let your guard down. Because there might be interruptions at any moment, and so you can't really get into like flow state or like free thinking space because you're just like waiting for an interruption. Garbage truck is here. It's gonna be really loud for a second. And so I feel like all summer I've been living like waiting for an interruption because, you know, my kids are just gonna come in and need something. Or why does everybody need to eat all the time? Like why does everybody need to eat 3 meals every day? That's so annoying, and it's dramatic. Like, let's just, I don't know. it's so hard to feed everybody 3 times every day. Do you agree? And I have these moments where I'm like, what have I ever cooked in my life ever? What recipe have I ever made before? My brain just shorts out. It's like, let's just not, and then say that we did. But then the kids are like having meltdowns. So, um, anyways, so I'm really, really glad to kind of be moving out of flexible mode where I feel like I can just turn off and do what I need to do. Y'all know, hi Lisa. Y'all know I love being here. I love being with this community. And one really cool thing that's been happening is, I guess, like in, I don't even remember when it was. I think it was at the start of the summer. Hi, Justin. The Mom on the Spectrum community transitioned to a platform called Circle, and everybody can join it if you want. You can go to mots.circle.so, and there's a 7-day free trial. So there's been like a ton of new members there. Like, I think last time I checked, I think it was close to 600. But it keeps growing. And so one thing that's been hard for me is to watch it grow and just not have, I haven't had the bandwidth to be on there a lot, like interacting with everyone. So just know, if you're on that platform, I love seeing all the messages come in. I have not been able to get around to as many of them as I want. But the cool thing is, I feel like everybody in the community is really stepping up and just supporting each other. I see so much like outside connection and resources being shared. So it's just a super, super cool place. Check it out, mots.circle.so. And shout out to Sam and Meredith for being incredible moderators who help me keep it safe and clean and fun and inviting and warm. Sam and Meredith do a lot of really, really great work to make sure that everyone feels protected and like they can share freely, you know. Hi, Lonnie. Hi, Michael Daly. Hi, Paradox. So that's been hard for me because I haven't really been able to engage, but I'm really looking forward to getting back into the swing of things. It's really weird. You know, we've talked about, yeah, Sam and Meredith are awesome, Lisa. We've talked about, you know, if you have a dentist appointment on the calendar, it's like all day you're thinking about the dentist appointment, and then you go to the dentist appointment, and then after the dentist appointment, you're like reeling and you're trying to process everything that happened. So it's like, even though you only had one thing on the calendar, all day you're thinking about the dentist appointment. But it's kind of like that on a grand scale with school and summer. It's like, I was thinking about summer, and then summer happened, and now I'm just like, not spiraling, but processing everything that it was. You know, it's like I couldn't really get into a flow with the channel and the community because I just felt like I was in this waiting, like this holding period of not yet. You know, we have other stuff to do, and kids are going to create necessary, like, kids are going to pull my attention every day, every which way. So yeah. I think I saw somebody say, go back up here. Somebody say, how did I get my diagnosis? Yeah, Coin Show said, how did I get my diagnosis? Lonnie, delayed processing my entire childhood now. Yes, but isn't it so great to find yourself at any age? My ADHD is winning today. I'm all over the place. I have like 70 and 80-year-olds message me often. They're like, is it worth getting a diagnosis? I'm like, yes, it's never too late to pursue it, because even if you have one more day of just knowing yourself more fully and having more words to describe your experiences, it's completely life-changing and amazing. Okay, how did I get my diagnosis? Alyssa, I see your comment. I'll try to get to it in a second. So how do I put this in a nutshell? Well, when I was in my 20s, it was suggested that I was ADHD. That was like a general practitioner, and that it was like helpful. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But it still didn't feel like the whole picture. And it was one of those things where, and a lot of us do this, anytime there's like a new psychological term to understand or research, or like a new diagnosis that we don't know about, we just become kind of enamored with it. Like, I need to know. So I just kept learning all of these things about different diagnoses, trying to understand my brain better. And one of my colleagues at the time, when I was a flute teacher, she told me that her daughter received her autism diagnosis, and her daughter was super similar to me. We both went to TCU, go Frogs, and we both appeared to be like really socially adept, and I don't know, I was just like, if she is autistic, then maybe I don't understand what autism is. It shook me. I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense that she's autistic. And she said the thing that kind of set her off was that she learned about copy and paste behaviors. And copy and paste behavior. Hi, Jimma. So good to see you. It's been too long. Hope you're doing well, Jimma. Jimma is Jimma's Journey Grace. That's another autistic YouTube channel if you want to check her out. Sorry, where was I? So copy and paste behaviors is like you watching other people and kind of studying what you feel is required for the situation and then being able to emulate that. And I was like, well, doesn't everybody do that? And I guess that's true to some extent, but for autistic people, it's this whole other level. Like that's kind of how we approach the world, is like studying how we're supposed to and then trying to paste that onto the situation. And so I was realizing, okay, well, if that's not normal to everybody, then I need to check this out. So I started researching autism, went into my deep dive phase, which most of you understand because I know many of you, like once you see the writing on the wall, it usually is followed by deep dive research phase. So I did that for a few months and was sure that I was sure that I was sure. You know, not just like with the ADHD diagnosis, I was like, yeah, this is helpful. But with autism, when I really understood, when I researched it and I really understood how it could present, especially in women, especially in adults, it just explained so much that it felt like coming home. And it felt like I didn't need to keep researching other things. It's like, oh, autism, it takes care of everything. Like this makes my life make sense. And so I sought out a professional diagnosis here in DFW through a doctor. Her name is Dr. Laura Sanders. She's now based in Colorado. You can look her up, nocoassessmentcenter.com. But also my psychologist here does assessments, and their name is Dr. Williams at Spectra Psychological. You can Google that. So yeah, that's how I got my diagnosis. It was life-changing for me. And I'm so glad that I have it because it's connected me to this amazing community. And as you'll see in the chat, I mean, sometimes things go off the walls a little bit, but when it's really just our community and the live stream doesn't go kind of semi-viral and get weird, you know, thousands of people that we've never met before on it, which happens sometimes, but as long as it's just our community, you'll find that all the comments are so kind and supportive, and I'm just so grateful for the people here. Like I feel like autistic people are the kindest, most authentic, fair, just people that I've ever met. And I'm really, really happy to be among the community. Okay, so somebody asked, have I been feeling overwhelmed by the politics in election year? We won't get super into politics right now, but yeah, I mean, it makes sense. America's got a lot going on right now, and I just want to encourage you that it's going to be okay. Just focus on your own sphere. Like, whenever we think about politics on a massive scale, it's really overwhelming because it feels there's not a lot of autonomy. Like, it feels like things are happening to us, right? That we're not able to enact change. But just focus on your own little corner of the world. I would encourage you to participate in some way, like connect with a cause that matters to you, that you feel like makes a difference in the world. If that's, you know, donating $5 if that's all you can do, or helping out, you know, at a homeless shelter, whatever cause is important to you, that will really help. I believe, you know, doing those types of things will help us feel like we can make a difference in our corner of the world. And, you know, pay attention to how you feel when you're consuming news. I mean, if you're just sitting there and your algorithm is just spitting politics at you, you're probably going to feel not great. So what you focus on, you create more of. And if you're focusing on politics, yeah, I mean, there's some merit in learning about it, studying it, if that's interesting to you and helps you feel like you can show up more fully in the world as yourself, great. But, you know, if you're consuming it and it's bringing you down and making you feel awful, just take note of that and pivot, you know. Not that you can't stay informed, because I do think that that's important, but just moderate your consumption of it and do what you can to make your own corner of the world a little bit better. But it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Definitely understand how stressful those things can get, though. Politics can be very overwhelming. Alyssa, I think that's a very autistic thing, feeling guilty for not learning everything to be informed. That's what I was kind of thinking in my head while I was explaining it. I'm like, I know that a lot of times we tend to be, I call it completionist, like completionistic about things. Like, if there's something to be known, I want to know everything about it. And that's exhausting. So I'm aware that that's my pattern. And realistically, you just have to take a step back. You're like, I'm never going to be able to know everything about everything. I can try. It doesn't stop me from trying. But especially politically, there's news every second, and it's just impossible. So I think being aware of our patterns and being aware of our need to, um, being aware of the desire to learn everything, just kind of being kind and gracious with yourself about that and realistic, because it's impossible. And it's not selfish to disengage with the news. Like, it is not selfish, especially our community. Excuse me. Autistic people, generally speaking, are so consumed by injustice. If anything unjust is happening, it's very, very hard for us to focus until the injustice is dealt with. And so yeah, we have to protect our energy and protect our boundaries, because I don't think we were meant to know all of the things that we know today. Like, we're not supposed to know, I don't want to say it like that. I don't think our brains are designed to handle, catastrophic news on a global scale every day. That's not how it should be. I don't think it's very overwhelming. So just everything in moderation, right? It's okay to disengage. It's not selfish. Do what you need to do to take care of yourself. Okay, let's see. Lonnie says, giving myself permission to be human has been hard. Yeah, I get it. Hey, Sienna. Is somebody moderating for me? If somebody's moderating, thank you. I don't know if Whitney's here. Hey, John Holman. Hey, Ollie the Superman. Ira Ferguson. Hey, Christine. Oh, Christine. Okay. Christine says, I'm looking at the Spectra Psych where I am, and I'm wondering how your experience was there, and if you wouldn't mind talking about it a bit. Spectra Psychological, that's run by Dr. Jennifer Williams, and the community, they will take excellent care of you. They have an awesome staff, very well versed in late diagnosed autism, very well versed in how autism affects females and minorities, great at supporting the LGBTQ community. I will say with Spectrus, they probably, I think their timeline is pretty good right now of getting people in, like a few months maybe. Just administratively, sometimes things get bogged down a little bit, and I get some people messaging me about that sometimes. But I promise, like, when you're in their care, like, they will take such great care of you. Just be patient, because they do so much paperwork, and it's very, very, very thorough. Like, you're gonna get so much information about yourself. So you got to be patient with that part of the process. But yeah, you'll only hear like really positive things from me about that practice. My kids are 7 and 10. My son's turning 8 on Sunday, my baby. 8 years old. I can't believe it. Sometimes you'll ask me to talk about like autism and pregnancy. It's like, goodness, I don't even remember. That was so long ago. I don't even remember how to talk about that. Because my baby is 8. It feels like another lifetime. Yeah, Christine, no worries. I promise I'll take good care of you. Dr. Williams is awesome. My daughter had her psych evaluation with Holly Hughes up there, and then also have great things to say about Dr. Womack. It's just a really great practice. They'll take care of you. Ooh, Sienna, working to unmask crying. Yeah, I get that. Sometimes I feel like I need to cry and I forgot how. One thing that I talk about here a lot on the channel is many of us have been told that we're, sorry, this is squeaky. Let me stop swinging. It's probably bothering some of you. One thing that we've been told a lot as autistic people, most likely, is that we're oversensitive, overreacting, too dramatic, whatever it might be. But our bodies give us feedback, and it's important. And so it can be really hard to learn how to undo that conditioning to where when our body is speaking to us, we're like listening rather than, no, you're being dramatic, you're, you know, too much, too sensitive. But inviting that feedback from your body of like, oh, I am feeling overwhelmed, I am feeling upset, I am feeling anxious. And sometimes just acknowledging that can be a really healing thing, just sitting with it, breathing. You know, this is another thing I share in our connection groups a lot. I think many of us are looking for kind of the magic elixir, the magic tool, you know, that you haven't learned yet, that's going to help you feel more grounded or deal with your upsetting symptoms or whatever. But what I like to ask people is, like, when was the last time that you just sat still and listened to your breath? That is so healing. Just be calm. Well, I know sometimes we don't feel like we can just be calm, but just be, you know, still. Take a few deep breaths and just listen. Like, what is your body saying? Are you tired? Are you overwhelmed? Do you have some aches and pains somewhere? You know, that's a really great thing to do. And I think that can help you connect with, I can't remember who was saying it, but just connecting to that need to unmask through crying. Like, just, you know, connect with your body and give it time to speak to you. It's really important. Okay, some of you are being silly. All right. Bye. Not to you guys, sorry. Some people are acting up. Hey, Liana. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, and I think y'all can report comments as well. I think if you click on them, I've got a couple of people. Sorry. I usually have a moderator on here, but I just did this really impromptu, so I'm trying to read comments and moderate and speak at the same time. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. Okay, thank you, Jimma. I'm adding you now. Appreciate it. I guess we got kind of an influx of people all of a sudden. Thank you so much, Jimma. Yeah, I mean, and typically just, y'all hopefully know my approach now, but with weird stuff that shows up, our community is so beautiful and kind and accepting and lovely. When weird stuff just shows up, I think the best approach is usually just ignore it, you know, don't give it more attention, just report it and keep moving. Don't try to get in a fight with people who aren't interested in creating peace. Yeah. Justin, I have been watching the Olympics. I watched the closing ceremony yesterday, and it's so cool. It's just so, okay, so one of my favorite things in life is seeing a massive amount of people come together to do something important. Like, after a movie, it's so weird, but I just love watching the credits because it's always amazing to me how many people it takes to make something like that. My stomach's growling. I don't know if you can hear it. I need to eat breakfast. And so, I mean, the Olympics is that on like a worldwide scale. And it's just such a cool reminder to me of what we can accomplish when we all come together. And I always get emotional watching it because it's just, you know, every country just being there and supporting each other and hyping each other up. It's like, I don't care who wins. It's everybody just giving their best and just supporting and encouraging each other. It's amazing. It's amazing. So, yeah, when they officially closed it yesterday, my kids and I were holding hands. We're like, no, it's 4 more years. It's so sad. So cool. And I thought the closing ceremonies were dramatic and awesome. The whole segment with like lifting the rings into the air. Okay, the piano being hoisted up from the rafters vertically. Like, if you didn't see it, they pulled a piano up into the sky with like this awesome macabre, like French, you know, look. And there's a pianist just playing, I can't remember his name. He was amazing. And then an opera singer. I don't know, maybe not an opera singer, just like a gorgeous singer. I wish I remember their names. Art. The French are so cool. Their art is weird and inspirational. So that was really cool. And then transitioning the flag from Paris to LA, that was fun because, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, the camera pans up and Tom Cruise is on the top of the stadium, and he just like looks up at the camera, like looks up and then steps off the stadium. He's such a bad ASS. Sorry, some of you don't like to cuss on here. Oh no, I'm swinging again, sorry. So he jumps off the stadium all the way to the bottom, grabs the Olympic flag, puts it on a motorcycle, drives the motorcycle through Paris. We enter montage, right? So Paris montage, Tom Cruise driving the Olympic flag through Paris, Eiffel Tower. He drives it into a carrier plane, and then Tom Cruise style jumps out of the carrier plane because he's got to get the Olympic flag to California. I mean, how else would you do it? So he jumps off the plane, and the flag continues to make progress towards LA until it ends up on the beach with Red Hot Chili Peppers, Snoop Dogg, Billie Eilish. It was a whole vibe, and I was loving every minute of it. Never watched the Olympics. It's so great. It's so cool to see so many people come together. Blake, what's some of your favorite autistic YouTubers and why? Okay, well, I'm a little bit biased, but they're the best. So Orion Kelly, Woodshed Theory, and Neurodivergent. Jen, like her name, Jenn, Neurodivergent. And Jimma's on here. Jimma's Journey Grace, that's a great one. Yeah, Orion's okay most of the time. He's a ham. Gotta give him a hard time. Thanks, Jimma, for helping me out with everything. The insulting opening ceremony as well. They're French. They have their own vibe. Let's see. Sprechen Deutsch, yeah. Not really. I can say Kugelschreiber, which is pen, I think. Scrolling up. Thanks, Jack Dustin. I don't know if I've seen you on here before. Glad you're here. Can you make a video talk about how ADHD people can be led on romantically by neurotypicals? I feel like you're going a teeny bit crazy. That's a good subject for discussion. I'll think about it. I know I have a lot of requests for like relationship content because this can be difficult to navigate for us, huh? Oh, thanks, Jasper. Sienna Price, I'm trying to catch up with your comments, but it sounds a little bit like exposure therapy. So something that can be helpful for our community sometimes, especially up to 65% of autistic people also have OCD tendencies. And goodness, I can't speak today. Exposure response prevention therapy can be really helpful for introducing things that typically cause us stress, but in a manageable, approachable way. Good morning, Curly Girly Hope. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little garden tour. If you're on my Instagram, you've seen it. And if you're not on my Instagram, I've got an Ask Me Anything going today. So on Mondays, I always post a little box because I get a ton of comments that I just can't respond to, a ton of emails. If I do respond, it's like a month, just because that's kind of where I'm at with how many emails are coming in right now. But so the Ask Me Anything on Instagram is kind of an opportunity for me to get to as many of your questions as I can. So hop over there and check it out. It's at Taylor_Heaton, like turn the heat on. Mashed potatoes garden. I would love a mashed potato garden. I've never grown potatoes before. Dan Jones is awesome, Coffee Girl. He's another one of my favorite channels. The Aspie World. Also like Thomas Henley. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. A lot of really cool autistic YouTubers. I'm Autistic Now What? She's so great with her production quality. Oh my gosh. Her videos are amazing. Okay, so we're gonna do a garden show and then I'm gonna hop off. I just wanted to say hello because it's been too long since I did a live stream and say basically I'm back because my kids are in school. Okay, so here's my patio. I got my wind chimes and my fern. Got a little hammock over here. My kids love the hammock. These are peppers, but I can't remember what kind of peppers I was growing. Let me know if you recognize them. And it's so cool because they're really pretty similar to the same color as the leaves. So it's all kind of camouflage, which I think is really fun. I haven't found any more. I think there's just like 4 of them so far. So there's my peppers. My favorite plant that I have this year are my watermelons. This is the first year I've grown watermelons. They're just so beautiful. I love color. I don't know, can't remember which variety this is, so I'm not sure how sure how big I'm supposed to let them grow, but I think I've read that once the stem becomes kind of brown, that's when it's time. So I guess they're still growing. Tomatoes are doing okay. I haven't had many of them ready yet so far, and they're all just such different sizes. Some of them get really red when they're small and then drop off, and some of them are getting kind of big, so I think they might be Romas. I'm not sure. Oh, here's a really pretty one. This one looks ready. How cool is that? Need to make a salad. Very cool. Okay, this is my rosemary. Basically, this is the smell good section because I've got rosemary, mint, and basil. And it smells amazing. Does anybody know what this is? I think it's a weed, but it's cool. I didn't plant it. I just came out one day and it had started growing like crazy. So I guess it just kind of cross-pollinated somehow. And when I Googled it, I think it said it's a Calanthea. And it should have pink flowers, I'm not sure. Maybe it's just a weed and I'm giving it free space. But it's okay. The mint is also kind of like a weed, but I love it. And it has, I guess it's called bolting, like when it flowers. And the bad thing about that is that there's bees on it all the time, like tons of bees. I guess it's not bad because bees are amazing, but you know, I mean, tons of bees, especially in the afternoon. And then my basil plant, oh my gosh, it smells so good. I wish you could smell it. Look how beautiful that is. So pretty. Yep. And I had cilantro, but I'm learning about cilantro. It has a really quick lifespan. So cilantro will grow and then it does something called bolt again, like where it'll get kind of flowers on it. And then when it dries up, it drops coriander seeds. Isn't that crazy? And then this was my pumpkin patch. They were doing so good and they were beautiful, just huge green leaves all through here. They started taking over the whole garden, and I had 2 pumpkins and something happened. I don't know, they didn't make it. They got sick and the vine died. I think my lawn guy might have hit it, I'm not sure. So yeah, the zinnias need to go. It's been too, look how dramatic they are. If I'm like an hour late watering my zinnias, they're like, it's fine, it's too hard anyway, like we're out, we don't want to do this anymore. So they were really beautiful. And I actually, at the beginning of the summer, I posted it on our community page. I had a zinnia that bloomed half yellow and half pink. I have never seen anything like it. It was the coolest thing. I'll have to find a picture and post it again. These are just some generic wildflowers that, I don't know, they do their own thing. So that's my garden, and I started during the pandemic. I didn't know anything about plants. I was like the person that says, you know, I'm gonna kill everything that I make, but grow. But you just have to start. Basil's really good to start with, mint, because they want to grow, they want to thrive, and they kind of act like a weed. They just take over everything. And then one thing that I love to do is just have a compost bin, because then when stuff dies, I just can recycle in it. I can recycle it, and it all goes back to the same place eventually, right? So I have a compost bin, and when stuff dies, just throw it in there, spin it around, and then that creates more compost and soil that I can use to do the garden the next year. So yeah, if you're interested in starting gardening, you can start by just planting a few seeds in a cup and keeping it on your kitchen windowsill, like basil or basil, what would be, cilantro would be a good one to start inside. So yeah, all right, well, I just wanted to hop on and say hi to everybody. I'm getting back into the swing of things for fall semester, and you should be seeing some new videos, new content, more interaction from me. I know if you've been commenting on my videos, I haven't been able to reply to very many this summer, but all right, I hope everybody's doing well. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, and I'll try to do another live stream either Friday or maybe next week. But thanks for being here, and we'll talk again later. Thank you, Jimma, for moderating. I really appreciate you. You're awesome.